Hello everyone. In our life there are many secrets and unexplained phenomena that no one was able to reveal them. Many fairy tales without a specific end and clear end. Today we will look at 10 facts that no one knew about before. I hope you find it interesting. If you are new to the channel, then welcome. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell. We are regularly coming out with new videos and want you to be there for all of them. 10. Radium Girls. Whether it's firefighters, construction workers working with machinery that has no room for error, or policemen, there are many jobs out there where people put their lives at risk every day. However, in the early 1900s, there was one job that took many of their employees' lives or left them with cancerous tumors on their bodies. Today, glow-in-the-dark paint is something that you can find anywhere and it's completely harmless. But, almost a century ago, glow-in-the-dark paint was considered a novelty, and items painted with it were highly sought after. People were fascinated by the idea of possessing a glowy paint that can shine, even in the dark, which is why there was a high demand for watches with glow-in-the-dark numbers, and this is where things take a turn for the worse. Watch factories hired young women at extremely low wages and tasked them with painting the dials for the clock. However, they kept the fact that the chemicals they used for the glow-in-the-dark paint were radioactive and harmful, hidden from them, so none of these women thought that they were in danger. They would put the brushes in their mouths to get a fine tip, completely unaware of the fact that they were ingesting radium. As time went on, the Radium Girls started to suffer from strange symptoms that ranged from lesions and ulcers to necrosis of the jaw, which has since been dubbed radium jaw. Their jaws would fall off, and yet, they blamed syphilis for their deaths. In total, 30 of the Radium Girls lost their lives due to exposure to radium, while many of them were diagnosed with various forms of cancer later on in their lives. 9. Genghis Khan caused an increase in carbon dioxide levels. Genghis Khan, founder and emperor of the Mongol Empire, was a ruthless leader who didn't hesitate to destroy everything in his path to get what he wanted. It's estimated that he killed around 40 million by conquering and ruling most of modern-day Russia, China, Korea, Southeast Asia, Afghanistan, Iran with his Mongol army. The leader was known for his brutality and cold-bloodedness, to the extent that he once decided to slaughter all men taller than a cart axle just for the sake of eliminating all risks of someone conspiring against him. A study found that during the time the Mongol leader was conquering many parts of the world and killing millions of people, he actually altered the global carbon dioxide levels by 0.1 part per million. The number might seem small, but to put things into perspective, that's equivalent to the amount emitted annually by worldwide gasoline. 8. Lord Byron's bear pet. When people reach certain levels of wealth, it seems like for most of them one of the many luxuries that they acquire is to own an exotic pet. Some people opt for exotic and rare cats and dogs, while others lean towards getting monkeys, tigers, lions, snakes and even alligators. As for Lord Byron, the British romantic poet and satirist, his choice of pet fell on an animal that you'd never expect. He owned a pet bear. While his reputation of being controversial preceded him, Lord Byron was also known for his love of animals. He kept dogs, cats, badgers, foxes, and crocodiles as pets throughout his lifetime. He was a man who followed no rules, so while he was attending Trinity College in Cambridge where dogs weren't allowed to be kept as pets, Lord Byron thought of an idea to follow the rules in his own way. He brought a tame bear to the campus since, after all, there were no rules prohibiting college students from keeping bears as pets. 7. Ancient Romans urine mouthwash. A minty mouthwash is supposed to be a refreshing product that not only will kill and prevent bacterial growth, but also helps you maintain a fresh breath. Ancient Roman weren't strangers to mouthwashes, but they had a secret ingredient to produce these mouthwashes, to put it mildly. The Roman bought a bottle of urines imported from Portugal and used it as toothpaste and mouthwash. The usage of urine mouthwash became so popular that they actually started taxing the trade as everyone was importing Portuguese urine. 6. Marie Antoinette's 100 dead son. Imposters. Louis Charles de France, son of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He was announced heir to the throne at the young age of 4 after his older brother passed away, and according to history, the palace staff bowed to his every demand. This luxurious and privileged life didn't last long, as 4 years later after the announcement, Louis Charles was orphaned after both of his parents were executed during the French Revolution. The young boy was subjected to a lot of abuse and neglect at the hands of his jailers, and his life became completely different from what he was used to. 2 years later, Louis Charles came down with incurable tuberculosis and lost his life at the age of 10. None of the young boy's extended family knew of his death, including his sister Marie-Therese, who lived in a cell on the floor above her brother. In the years following Louis Charles's death, more than 100 imposters would visit her and claim to be the deceased heir, hoping to get their hands on some cash if the royal family were ever to return to power. 5. The government poisoned alcohol in 1926. During what is called the Prohibition era in the United States, hospital staff started realizing that there were tons of people who would show up critically ill after consuming alcohol. They knew of alcohol poisoning, especially because of the fact that people would make bootlegged whiskey and gin inside their home to satiate their hunger for alcohol, but this was different. People started suffering the same symptoms after drinking alcohol before they died. This bizarre outbreak was investigated, and it was discovered that the culprit was none other than the United States government. It was shortly discovered that in order to stop people from making their alcohol at home and scare people into drinking it, they ordered manufacturers that produced products people used in their homemade alcohol to poison their products. It's estimated that by the end of the Prohibition era, more than 10,000 people were killed as a result. 4. Cleopatra wasn't Egyptian. There's a common misconception that is more of a debate about the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, Cleopatra, and her true racial background. It's a true fact that she was born on Egyptian land, but she wasn't Egyptian herself. Despite the fact that she wasn't Egyptian, she became the only member of her family to learn the Egyptian Coptic language in addition to a half-dozen of other languages, and she embraced Egypt's customs and traditions. 3. Ketchup was sold as a medicine. I think we can all agree that without condiments such as ketchup, mayo, and mustard, the world wouldn't be the same. But, did you know that before ketchup was used to top fries and cheeseburgers that it was actually used and sold as a medicine? It was believed that tomato ketchup had healing properties, and that idea was pushed by Dr. John Cook Bennett, who claimed that ketchup could cure indigestion, rheumatism, jaundice, and diarrhea. He even made ketchup tablets that sold at markets, and for the following 15 years, ketchup and tomato sauce were both used as a medication. 2. Walt Disney's frozen body. Born in 1901, Walt Disney was an animator who revolutionized the world of animation and film cartoons. But, if there's one thing that the majority of people think of when the topic of Walt Disney's death would come up, it's the rumor that he ordered his body to be cryogenically frozen in a cryogenic chamber with liquid oxygen and stored beneath the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland. While this idea is nothing short of fascinating and seems like it's something out of a science fiction movie, it has been denied by Walt Disney's daughter. 1. The monks that mummified themselves. Mummification is a process in which the body of a person or an animal is preserved by using chemicals for a variety of different reasons. It's a practice that dates back to the ancient Egyptians, but human mummies that are thousands of years old were found in many different places on Earth. For the majority of mummies, the mummification process is done by other people after the person's death. However, shockingly enough, there have been cases of Buddhist monks that mummified themselves while they were still alive and breathing. Dubbed Sokushinbutsu, these monks discovered a way to mummify themselves, a process that took them 3 years of preparation of eating a strict diet called mokajiki that would eliminate all body fat. They would then stop drinking any liquid to the point of dehydration, resulting in the shrinkage and preservation of their organs, skin, and teeth. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell below to be notified whenever we upload new videos. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.